celebrates the good things. We have to talk. I am 11 months post-transplant. Not only will I be applying to medical school, but I will be applying to... Good morning, friends. I literally just woke up like maybe, what time is it? I don't know, like maybe half an hour ago. And I did my little morning dance party to get myself awake. I made myself a little coffee. And y'all, we have a lot to catch up on, but we're gonna have to do that after I tackle at least one item on my to-do list. And if you can see here, this is what I've got going on. And right now, yeah, it's not in any particular order. I need to call my parents right now. So that's what I'm going to do first. And then we can chit chat. Also, I definitely have this like cozy thing in the background that I'm just obsessed with because it makes me feel like it's like Christmas in my house, even though I have literally no decorations and no Christmas tree. But it's neither here nor there. All right, see y'all in a little bit. All right, y'all, so I called my parents. They're so adorable. They are definitely learning to be a little more technologically savvy. And you're getting there, y'all. You're getting there. So, I showered. Now I am putting on my good old sunscreen. You already know. Black Girl Sunscreen. It's the kids version because it has SPF 50 and just makes my skin feel really nice. And since a transplant, my skin has been so sensitive, so this is just the go-to. And y'all, it's been a while, okay? So in the last vlog, I think I showed you my first week at work, which is crazy, y'all. For those of you who don't know, my name's Christelle. I am an aspiring physician scientist. I was also born with sickle cell disease that I got cured this year, or cured, through a stem cell transplant. And y'all, I am 11 months post-transplant. Like, what? Honestly, like, I'm just so surprised. By the way, I also have it in spray form because it's really easy to spread like across my scalp and like more surface area like my chest. So I like using the lotion on my face and then the spray on like other parts of my body if they're exposed, like my legs, my arms, across my chest, my back. But anywho, it's crazy, you guys. I just like, I did a little, like, I honestly am just still just in shock every single day. And I kind of want to celebrate like, or count down to 12 months post-transplant or 1 year post-transplant, which will be on January 20th, 2023. So I'm really feeling like, I don't know, I'm in the mood to celebrate this because it's such a huge milestone to hit. Sorry, I'm gonna pick this up. It's such a huge milestone and I'm just so incredibly blessed to be in this position. So I really just want to take some time and celebrate because I feel like I'm always like on to the next thing and okay, like I have to hit my goals. Now I'm ready to do X, Y, Z and you know, like, okay, it's about reapplying to med school and all that good stuff. But I really think this season, it's important for me to slow down and just celebrate the good things that have happened to me and like the answered prayers and to like literally just sit with that, you know? So I'm thinking of like posting the videos of me in the hospital, like as a countdown, like every week until I get to my 1 year post-transplant mark. I recorded the entire time I was there. I was just so sick and tired that I didn't edit anything. I think I edited one video while I was in the hospital and then I was like, this is a joke. Like I need to just stop. I need to stop trying to make this happen. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you would want to see actual footage of me like in the hospital on the days I received chemo and on the days I was waiting to engraft, which basically means waiting for Carl's donor cells to start, you know, having a party in my body in a good way. So let me know if you guys want to see that in the comments down below. And yeah, so anywho, I have a lot to catch up on. So I told y'all that I'm 11 months post-transplant. If you saw in my last vlog, I did start a new job, which is absolutely crazy. And I just can't believe that, you know, I didn't think my body would be ready for something like that. But you know, she is, I guess. And y'all, this is not cute, but this is what we're gonna do. All right, time is ticking and I need to get some things done. So I'm taking you along with me. So, oh my God, this trash. Y'all, when you make salmon and you put it in the trash, you put like a salmon skin or whatever, it smells like death the next day. But anywho, that's been happening, and I kind of alluded in my very last vlog. Was it my last? No, the vlog before that where I talked about the whole like process of me actually getting the job. I kind of like dropped it without really giving much context to it. And I've been afraid to talk about this. So I don't know. Let me just process and throw away this trash. And then we're gonna talk about what I need to talk about on this channel right now and just give y'all like full disclosure about what's happening in my life moving forward. So I'll tell you in a second, I promise. Perfect. Now, just gonna very quickly pick up my apartment because I have a friend coming over and I'm so excited. And it's looking just a little messy. Just little stuff kind of just lingering, like random receipt hanging out there. So, and I wanna clear the top of this. So let's do that real fast. Y'all, it's been a few days since I last picked up the camera. So sorry. Ended up hanging out with my friend, having to get to work,
and I've been pretty busy since, but we will definitely finish our conversation. Right now I am waiting to get my labs drawn, and then I will chat with you guys once I'm in the room upstairs. All right, transplant appointment time. Let's do it. All right, I just got in the room. I got my vitals done, and now I am gonna sit down and get some work done. That's what I'm gonna do, but we have to talk, okay, y'all? I know I've been saying this, and we're gonna talk as long as no one comes in to chat with us. I saw my nurse practitioner with another patient, so I think we'll have a little bit more time to talk, and I'm definitely not. I shouldn't be the next patient, so we'll have some time. But anywho, I've had a lot to catch you up on, and I'm going to talk about the past few months and what the next year will look like for me and for us on this journey. So, how do I do this? Yeah, I need to sit up. I am 11 months post-transplant. I am just trying to survive. Now we are in December. It is after Christmas. I did not do Vlogmas this year because, y'all, there was too much going on in my life. I was like, I need to just reprioritize and do a few other things first, and also take care of myself. My sister was in town. We got to hang out quite a bit. She came for a week, and then I was still trying to get into the swing of things at work. I had a little medical procedure for my toe, and I need another one, and really just trying to adjust to work and taking care of myself at the same time and finding that right balance. Also, if you hear like this whirring noise in the background, it's because they have like an air purifier in here. In all the transplant rooms, they have like an enclosed space, and they like filter the rooms, the air in the rooms, like 24/7 pretty much. So that's why if you hear that, that's what's happening. So yeah, I've been on, for my anti-rejection, I've been doing really well on the medication they last switched me on. I'm taking mycophenolate mofetil now, and it's been doing me good. No problems, so I am very, very grateful. And then at the beginning of December, I caught COVID, and your girl was out, okay? She was out. I literally missed like almost 2 weeks of work, and it was rough. Like the first few days, the first day that I was showing symptoms, I actually just had a scratchy throat, and I thought it was because I had spent the whole day talking, and so I was like, okay, like, don't worry about it, and that happens to me frequently, so I didn't really think about it. And then the next day I went to work. Praise the Lord, I was wearing my N95 the whole time, which I always do. I wear my N95 every day, but y'all, like, as the shift was progressing, I was like, I'm feeling really horrible. What's happening here? And so I ended up leaving early, and by the time I got home, I was like full on chills, body aches, shivering like crazy, high fevers. It was rough. So thankfully, it could have been worse. I ended up going to the ER just for a little bit, and they gave me some antibiotics, did all the tests. That's where I found out I had COVID. And I also did the antiviral course called Paxlovid, and I really do think that helped to like fight off the virus. Who knows? But within like 10 days I was testing negative, which was great. And after I did like a 14-day quarantine, I was able to go back to work. So that was really that was a journey in itself, But now, as I'm preparing for the new year, and having COVID like really gave me a lot of time to rest and reflect, and cheers, just have some coffee here. Just gave me a lot of time to just, I don't know, really just spend time with that was my toe, sorry. Spend time with my thoughts and reflect on how I want to move forward this next year. And I have some big things that I'm working towards. I am seeing as that I'm recovering from the transplant decently well, and starting 2023, I'll be starting to get my vaccinations, like meningitis and influenza and all sorts of other things. Not like the para-influenza, Haemophilus influenza, anyway. So I am gonna start getting my vaccines for everything, and I think that by the time 2024 comes around, I'll really start to feel like myself. Technically, the recovery time is like 2 years to be considered like done with the transplant recovery. So I figured, I should really be considering reapplying to med school now while I am entering 2023, so that by the time 2024 comes around, I'm ready to start again. And this is really huge for me because I was not expecting for things to go this way. Like the first half of my transplant recovery was really rough, and so I just could not imagine myself, being back in the rigors of medical school. And right now, like, I think that was the right decision for me to leave medical school, because I still don't think, like, today that I am ready to be in the rigors of medical school and like rotations and studying for step 1. Like, it just requires a level of focus and energy that I don't think I have right now. And so I'm glad that I did take that time off and like really listen to my body, but I also don't want to delay it longer than it needs to. I really want to become a doctor and have a fulfilling career in medicine, and so I am keeping that in mind as I make my plans. And so I'm planning, like, if my transplant recovery continues to go this way, the first year is finally coming to a close, I think that the next year will be even better, and that I am anticipating for positive things and like a very speedy and healthy recovery. So yeah, that's where I'm at. And the thing that I have been scared to talk about, give me a second. Okay, sorry about that. I just got my flu vaccine, my second dose of the flu vaccine. So if y'all don't know, when you receive a transplant and you're immunocompromised and you're getting your re-immunizations, sometimes you need to get more doses than before for it to be considered like a full recovery, or a full immunization rather, sorry. So right now, I just got my second dose of the flu shot, so now I'm considered fully vaccinated, even though for the average person, 1 flu shot should be enough. I also need 1 more COVID booster for me to be fully COVID vaccinated and boosted, so I need to get that booster very soon. But anywho, I forgot where I left off. Let me go back and check what I recorded. Okay, lovely. I left off on the thing I'm scared to talk about. Don't mind me, I'm gonna take my meds at the same time. The things that I'm really scared to talk about is that I can't even say it. I don't know why I'm so scared. I do know why I'm so scared. I'm just gonna say it. Not only will I be applying to medical school, but I will be applying to get a dual degree. So my MD, PhD. And so that, y'all, let me explain. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna pause right here because I can't believe I'm saying this out loud on camera. I'm gonna just take my meds. This is my mycophenolate mofetil. And then my vitamin D. And then I'm out of acyclovir and fluconazole, but I'm gonna pick those up today after I get them refilled by my nurse practitioner. But yeah, I am really passionate about pursuing a dual degree program, and even though it like low-key seems kind of random because I was in a medical program, a single medical program before, it's just like, y'all don't know this about me because I haven't talked about it, but I actually, when I graduated high school and I went to college at university, I really thought that I was going to get an MD, PhD, or a DO PhD when I graduated college. Like, that was originally the goal. I worked in a lab in undergrad for almost the entirety of, like, pretty much the first year I started was sophomore year. I started working as a work study student, and then I took on some projects and basically continued like not full time, but doing my own projects and helping with lab maintenance for the rest of my college career. I did 2 like independent biology projects. I ended up deciding not to do an honors thesis, but I still did those projects, wrote several like school papers that were like 20, 30 pages long about my research, and I really enjoyed it, but I honestly, I psyched myself out. I didn't trust myself. I didn't do great in college, and so I just took that to be like I wasn't cut out for, molecular sciences, even though I did well in my lab and I loved what I did. I loved what I was doing. I just felt like I sold myself short in terms of me believing that I could actually do it, that I would actually be smart enough and I could think like a scientist. I really doubted myself a lot. And also with all the like health challenges I had with sickle cell disease, I was like, man, like 8 years before I become, before I get into my career, that's such a long time. And who knows if I'm gonna make it? Like, what if I end up like keep getting sick and all that stuff? So I basically just decided not to, and I'm really happy with, I was really happy with my decision. I got my master's and I went to medical school, and I was like, all right, like I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to be a physician. This is great. But it's interesting because when I was in my master's program, there was a little inkling, like I had a really impactful research mentor, bless his soul, and I remember him telling me, you should consider an MD PhD, and I was like, boy, don't you dare say those words because I already closed that door, okay? So I kind of just, I'm not gonna lie, I just brushed it off, and I was like, you know what, like I'm on this path, I'm really excited about what I'm doing and going into medicine, and I can always do research on the side. I don't need a PhD, and that's true, I don't need a PhD to do research. So when I started medical school, it was like my focus. I was like, how can I get research in? And so I started my own IRB protocol. Right now the survey is being it's sent out, and I'm waiting for responses, and I can't wait to like analyze the data and find out, answer the question that I had. But it was really hard to do research on the side and a medical program, because your research is always second choice. You're not getting a degree. You're not getting a PhD. So you have to focus on your studies first, and then your, research stuff that you want on the side. And I felt like I always had to deprioritize my research in order to perform in medical school, and especially because I was already still dealing with so many health challenges and involved in like really important extracurriculars to me. It was really hard to balance all those things, and I'm realizing that now that I have been cured from sickle cell, which is just crazy to say, like my body is in a different place and my health is in a different place, and I think I can manage, an extended program, like a dual degree program. And not only that, it's like, y'all, the fact that I can sit here today and say that I don't have sickle cell disease, like to say that my body is actually making normal hemoglobin, like I have more normal hemoglobin than I have sickle hemoglobin. Like, what? Like, to me, that is just mind-boggling. And this should be the standard, though. It should be the standard. That's what I want. That's what I've always wanted. But I was like, they're going to come up with a cure before I, get into my career, so I don't have to worry about it. But I think, the transplant process has its own challenges that excludes people. Gene therapy is this awesome new, curative modality that we can use, but it has its own, limitations. And after being personally impacted by like molecular sciences, bench to bedside, translational research. Like, what I received was the outcome of people's hard work in the lab, really trying to understand how this works. I am on the receiving end of all the information from all these clinical trials, all these investigative trials, trying to understand what, conditioning regimens are helpful, what amount of ablation is necessary in the bone marrow. And all of that led to me being able to sit here today and standard of care, like I didn't have to join a clinical trial. I was able to get this treatment. And like, I just want to be a part of that. I am moved. I am touched. My soul is just in a whole different place because of the privilege that the privilege that I'm living in, and so I want to be able to contribute to the scientific community in that way and to the clinical community in that way. And so I really want to not put research on the side, not put research as my second choice, but have both basic science and clinical science and clinical practice. I want those to be my priority at the same time. I don't want to have to choose between the two. And, I'm scared to talk about this openly because I'm afraid of what people will think. I'm afraid that, I'm like telling you guys this and I'll never actually be able to do it, that MD PhD programs won't want me, and, that I still like have doubts about myself. Like, oh my God, I need to think more like scientists. But like that's the whole point of the program, is you get trained in that. And just saying it out loud to like a bunch of people, that there are a good subset of you that support me and have been watching my channel this whole time. And y'all, I so appreciate it. But, when I post it, like, anyone can watch it, and, I don't know what people are going to think, what people are going to say, and so I think I've been hiding this part of me. I've been hiding this dream because I don't want any, like, judgment or criticism or negativity. Like, I don't want any of that on my dreams, and so I've been hiding it. But it's hard for me to like show bits and pieces of my life when I'm not sharing the most important part of my academic and professional journey, especially as I start to study for the MCAT, start to work on my applications. Like, it's gonna be weird if I just never talk about that, if that's what I'm spending a lot of my day doing. So I just figured I would share that with y'all, and I just want to be a little bit of encouragement. I turned 29 this year, and I got halfway through a medical program, and then I had to leave for my health, even though I was in good academic standing, and I know I can take on medical school. It's still scary to be on this journey again, reapplying to medical school and taking the MCAT again, because my MCAT score is that old, okay? And like thinking about, hey, like, you're literally further away from your goal than you were before. And 8 years, I'm gonna be 38 when I graduate medical school, or 39. So it's gonna be really interesting, and I know I'm gonna have to remind myself along the way, like, my purpose and my why. And I really do feel like I'm destined for this, and that my insight as a patient is going to help the medical community and other patients tremendously. And that's why I feel so passionate about this. So I just want to be an encouragement. It's not too late. You're not too old. There's never a right time to do things. Be prayerful and go for those things. Be prayerful and go for it. And trust your gut. Take care of yourself. There's no need to rush. If something is meant for you, it's going to happen. It might not be the way you thought it would happen. It might not be the way you hoped it would happen, but it'll happen the way it needs to. And so every misstep and negative experience is a learning opportunity. It's an opportunity to grow you. And I'm using this journey to grow me, to be grateful with the present, and to not rush through things, and to be joyful and grateful throughout the journey, and not just focusing on the destination. So yeah, I'm just rambling now, but I'm just really happy that I got this off my chest, and feel free to leave any words of encouragement for me in the comments, because your girl is about to start studying for the MCAT. She actually already has been. I've been doing some Anki cards and practice questions. So I am really looking forward to this next phase of my life. I'm also trying to like work out more, lose some weight. I have a lot of really, like, God has been working on my heart, like finish the assignments, finish the things that I told you to work on before. And this last year he told me to focus on my health, and these last few months I kind of forgot about that with the new job and things kind of moving around. So I'm trying to get back into like prioritizing my health, prioritizing my community. Like, so many people who love and care for me, and I'm just like leaving them hanging for like weeks at a time. Like, no, like, you wouldn't be here today, and this is me talking to myself, I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for those people, if it wasn't for my community. So I am, you know, trying really hard to get back into that and really focus on what is essential next year. So I'm going to share my 12-week goals in another video. I'm going to do another video talk, like recapping my 12-week year. But yeah, because I've already been talking for like maybe 20 minutes. So anywho, thanks for watching, y'all. Like, I just hope this encourages you. Let me know, do you want to see like my medical journey? I want to share my journey through the MCAT and through the application process again, and just, you know, be honest and open and share that part of my life. I want to share more of that side of my life, as well as these like healthcare moments and transplant moments. So let me know in the comments down below if you'd like to see that. If you haven't watched my video about why I was leaving medical school and why I left medical school, and you're like, girl, what are you talking about? If this whole story didn't make sense to you, definitely watch this video here. I think it'll be around here, where I talk about why I left medical school, but technically not medicine. So anyway, thanks for watching. As always, aspire to inspire, and don't forget to take the scenic route in life. Anywho, love y'all. Toodles.